So it deals, this chapter simply deals with the algebraic expressions.
Yes.
Okay. So these are the three formulas. Like if you have whole square of these, then just a minute. Okay. So if it is like x plus y whole square, then you will do it as x square plus y square plus 2xy. And x minus y square is x square plus y square minus 2xy. And this is the formula we have just done. X plus y into x minus y is equal to x square minus y square. So you will be utilizing all these three formulas, right? Now,
Yes.
we have the algebraic expressions in the form of power of x. Power of x. Okay? Like x to the power 1 or x to the power 2 or x to the power 3. So whatever is the power, we call it as like polynomials come from this. Like if it has x to the power 1, then it is monomial, x to the power 2 is binomial, and so on. Okay, so that is why it is named as polynomial. So it simply depends on the power of variable. This variable may be x, it may be y, or it may be any variable, t or anything. Okay, so all these are variable. So whatever is the power of variable, that we call as polynomial. But the only thing is that this power should be a whole number. I pick x to the power 1. 1 is a whole number. X to the power 2, it is a whole number. Even x to the power 0. Okay, this is a whole number.
Yes.
But if you have x to the power 1 by 2 or minus 1 by 2, then we do not call it as a polynomial because the power is not a whole number, right? Always remember that this power should be a whole number. Clear? That defines a polynomial. Now let us begin with this chapter. So I'll do a revision. Here it is. Okay. So whatever is the expression we are having, we call it as terms. Like this is x squared plus 2x. So first term is x squared and second term is 2x. So it has two terms. Now this 3y squared plus 5y plus 7, it has three terms, right? And what is the variable? Variable is y. And what is the power? Power is 2. Okay. So
Yes.
the degree is also the power. Like if you have 3y squared plus 5y plus 7. So in the first term, we have variable with power 2. In second term, we have variable with power 1. And the last term, we have variable with power 0. Because anything which has power 0 is 1. Okay. X to the power 0 is 1. To the power 0 is 1. Anything which gets the power 0, it becomes 1. Okay. So what is the highest power? Highest power of the variable y is 2. So the degree of this equation is 2. So what is the degree? Degree is the highest power. Okay. So the degree is 2.
Yes.
Now, next thing is coefficient. Coefficient is what it is multiplied with. Like in the first term, what is the coefficient of y square? The y square is multiplied with 3. So the coefficient of y square is 3. Now in the second term, what is the coefficient of y? The coefficient of y is 5. And in the third term, like it is a constant because y to the power 0 is 1. So 7 is the constant term. Clear? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So that is how we define what is the degree, what is the coefficient, and what is the polynomial. So these are the three important things which have important meaning that we need to describe in this chapter. And one more thing is that polynomial, it may have any power, but this power should be a whole number. Like as you can see, here the example is given. This is x plus 1 over x. So x to the power 1 and 1 over x. So I can write it down as x to the power 1 plus x to the power minus 1. Okay. So is this minus 1 a whole number? No, it is not a whole number. It is an integer. So we cannot call it as a polynomial. Because polynomial is any variable with a power in whole number. Right? If you have cube root of y is a variable, then I can write it down as y to the power 1 over 3. Yes. Cube root of y may be written as y to the power 1 over 3. Yes. Can you hear me? So can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Like root of y is y to the power 1 by 2. And cube root of y is y to the power 1 by 3. Similarly, 5 root of y is y to the power 1 over 5. So all these are not polynomials because 1 by 3 is not a whole number, 1 by 5 is not a whole number, and 1 by 2 is also not a whole number. So whenever you are looking for the polynomial, you simply look at the power of the variable. If it is a whole number, like 1, then monomial, 2, binomial, and so on. Okay, so that is how you can define all the polynomials, the power of the variable. Clear? Clear till now? Okay, so if they have only one term, they are known as monomials. If they have three terms, then these are trinomials, and so on. Now degree, as I told you, the degree is simply the power. If you have this expression 3x to the power 7 minus 4x to the power 6 plus x plus 9. So you look to the highest power. What is the highest power? Highest power of x is 7. So the degree is 7. Okay. Just pay attention to the highest power. That will only give you the degree. Like, can you tell me the degree for this? Hello. So can you hear me?
Oh, yes, I was muted. The degree is
Okay, okay.
5.
Degree is 5. Here,
Uh, degree is 8.
8. Okay. So you only look to the highest one. Now, if it is 2, 2 simply means we can multiply it with x to the power 0. Okay. So the degree is x to the power 0. So the exponent is 0. So the degree of polynomial is 0. Whatever is the power is the degree. But the only thing is that it should be a whole number. That is it. If it is a whole number, you can always define. Okay, a polynomial of degree
Yes.
1 is called as a linear polynomial. A polynomial of degree 2 is called as a quadratic polynomial. Like if you have this equation, then you will call it as a quadratic equation because it is x to the power 2. Okay, so that is how we define.
Yes.
If its power is 3, then it is a cubic polynomial. Okay, now.
Yes.
So one variable and which are not. Okay, so here there is only x, here there is only y, it has t, here is only y, and here you have x, y, and t. There are 3 variables. Now coefficient you can define. Okay, here the coefficient of x squared is
Yes.
1, the coefficient of x is 1. So whatever the variable is multiplied with, that is the coefficient. Okay, like if I have
Yes.
minus 2x cube. So what is the coefficient of x cube? It is minus 2, right? You also need to include
Yes.
the symbol. If I have 5x cube minus 2. So what is the coefficient of x square? Yes, what is the coefficient of x
2
square? 2 minus 2.
minus 2.
Okay? Because you also need to include the sign. Okay, it is multiplied with minus 2. So that is the way you can do all these questions. Okay, binomial of degree 35, monomial of degree 100. You can write down the degree. Whatever is the power is the degree. Okay, or this
Yes.
linear, quadratic, and cubic. The power is 1, it is linear. Power is 3, it is 2, it is quadratic, and 3, it is cubic. So you need to only find out the degree. Okay, so this exercise is very simple. Then zeros of, okay, 0 of a polynomial. 0 simply means that if you put that value, then it will become 0. So that we call as the 0 of a polynomial. Like this is our equation. Okay, and here
Yes.
x is the variable. So what value of this we put so that it becomes 0. Okay, now if you put 1, then you will get the value as 4. If you put 0, then you get the value of just minus 2. Fine. So sometimes it will be asked to you to put the value of variable like x is equal to 1 or x equals to 4. So simply in place of x, put that value. Okay, like
Yes.
here it is given. This is the equation and you have to put x equals to 1. So simply put in place of x, you need to put 1 and you can calculate the value. Okay, here you need to find out
Yes.
y equals to 2. So simply put y equals to 2 and calculate. T equals to A. Put the value wherever you have T, you just put it equal to A. So this is how you can solve. Okay. Now,
Yes.
now if you need to check for the polynomial, zeros of the polynomial. Zeros of the polynomial means that if you put these value, you will get the result as 0. Like equation is x plus 2. So if you put x
Yes.
as 2, then it will give you 4. If you put x as minus 2, then you will get x, this equation as 0. So minus 2 is a 0 of the polynomial. So how we define 0 of the polynomial? Because these equations, they are polynomials. So 0 of the polynomial simply define that value of x where the equations becomes 0. Okay. So what value of x you can put for which the equation will give you the result as 0. That is known as the 0 of the polynomial. Okay. So let us go further how it. Okay. So it is always not necessary that the 0 of polynomial is 0. It may be any value. It may be 2, it may be minus 3, it may be 5. It is not necessary that it is only 0. 0, it may be 0, it may be 1, it may be 2, it may be minus 3. Okay. So the 0 of a polynomial may have any value. It may be 0, but it is not necessary that it is 0. Right? Every linear polynomial has one and only one 0. If it is a linear polynomial, then there is only one value of the 0 of the polynomial that will make the equation as 0. But a polynomial can have more than one 0. If it is not linear, if it is any other value of the polynomial, then it may have more value which will put the equation as 0. Like you can get the equation for 2 as 0 and minus 2 as 0. Okay, so these two will be the 0 of the polynomial, right? Okay, so what this is saying, this exercise is saying find the value of the polynomials at x equals to 0. So wherever you are having x, put it 0. X equals to minus 1. So wherever you are having x, put it as minus 1. Then put x as 2, right? Okay.
Yes.
So you need to simply put the value, nothing else, and calculate. Okay. Now here you find out the 0 of the polynomial. So in this question, you need to find out the zeros of the polynomial. At x equals to minus 1 upon 3. That means you need to put x as minus 1 upon 3. So the equation is 3x plus 1. Then x is equal to minus 1 upon 3. Put x equals to minus 1 upon 3. Okay, so this will cancel out and minus 1 plus 1 will give you 0. So you will say yes, x equals to minus 1 upon 3 is the 0 of this polynomial. Clear?
Yes.
So this is the way you can do.
Yes.
Okay, find the 0 of the polynomial in each of the following cases. So you need to put it equal to 0. 0 of the polynomial means that the equation should be 0. Okay, this equation should be 0. So at what value? At the value of x equals to minus 5. So minus 5 is the 0 of the polynomial, right? Here, x minus 5 equals to 0. Because always remember that for the 0 of the polynomial, the equation itself should become 0, right? So the equation should become 0. So x equals to 5. So x equals to 5 is the 0 of this polynomial. Similar way you can calculate. Here x will be minus 5 over 2. Here this will be 2 over 3, right? Okay, so this way you can calculate. Now to factorize. Now we know how to find out the 0 of the polynomial. Now how to do the factors of these polynomials. Factor simply means like if you have 12, you can write it as 3 into 4. That is factorization, breaking it into parts. Okay, so whenever we are having polynomials, we can simply break them into parts. That is known as factorization. So how can we factorize? So first it says, examine whether x plus 2 is a factor of this. If x plus 2 is a factor, then it will be a 0 of the polynomial. Like if you want to check that is x plus 2 is a factor of this cubic equation, okay, and of 2x plus 4. So first you need to check for x plus 2, then you need to check for 2x plus 4. So if x plus 2 is a factor, that means x plus 2 equals to 0. It is a factor. So x equal to minus 2. So simply put x equal to minus 2 in this equation. Okay. And if you are getting 0, that means it is a factor because it is a 0 of the polynomial. You're getting 0, that means x
Yes.
plus 2 is a factor. How we check the factor? We check the factor by simply finding out that if it is the 0 of the polynomial. If it is the 0 of the polynomial, then it is a factor. If it is not the 0 of the polynomial, it is never a factor. Now, similarly, you can check for 2x plus 4. Okay, so on putting the 2x plus 4, we get, okay, this is not given here, so you can check it. Find the value of k if x minus 1 is a factor. If x minus 1 is a factor, that simply means x minus 1 is
X is equal to 1.
or x equal to 1. So put x equal to 1 and calculate the value of k. Okay, so there are two things. First is 0 of the polynomial and second is factor. So if it is a factor, it will be the 0 of the polynomial, and if it is a 0 of the polynomial, it is a factor. Okay, so if you want to check for the
Yes.
factor, simply check the 0 of the polynomial. Fine. Now there is one more.
Yes.
That is how you can check the factor. Now, if you want to really factorize the equation, then how can you do? So for that, you need to do one thing. You need to do, okay. Let me give you some example. Okay, so this is like factorize this equation. How can you factorize this? Because here it is not given. You're not given with the 0 of the polynomial. You're not given with anything. So how will you factorize? So let us consider this is A, this is B, and this is C. And X is the variable. Okay, fine.
Yes.
So now you need to
Yes.
find out any value. You just multiply these two. Two ends we multiply. These two ends we multiply. So here it is 6 and it is 5. So 6 5s are 30.
30.
Okay. And
Yes.
the middle term is the sum. Okay. The first and last term should be multiplied. So that should be the multiplication. And the middle term is always the sum, 17. So if you want to factorize, you want to find two digits such that if you multiply them, you will have 30. And if you add them, you will have 17. Okay. So like 30. How
Yes.
can we have 30? We can have like 3 tens are 30. But 10 plus 3 is not 17. 10 minus 3 is also not 17. Then what we can have as 30, 10, 3 is not possible. Then we have, okay, it will not work. So we can have 15 and 2. 15 2s are 30 and 15 plus 2
Yes.
is 17. Okay, so that is how
Yes.
we factorize. So we can take two factors, one as 15 and other as 2. Right? So now we have two,
Yes.
15 and 2. So just keep in mind, this calculation you have to do in your mind only, that we need to find two numbers, two digits, such that their multiplication is this into this and the sum is this. Okay, so now you got two things, 15 and 2. Now you can rewrite this equation. How can you rewrite this equation? Like this. So 6x square is 6x square. Now I need to factorize this, 17x. How can I factorize it? I can simply factorize it with
15x plus 2x.
15x plus 2x.
2x plus 5.
Okay, so that is the way you can do. So whenever you are having such equation, you will only use this trick to factorize the equation, and it is applicable only to the middle term. You will factorize only middle term, the mid one, 17x. Okay, but you need to
Yes.
find two digits in this way. So there you will have the factor. So we'll have something as common. So here 3x plus 1 comes as common and the remaining is 2x plus 5. So that is how you can factorize. Yes? No.
Yes.
For this equation, like it has 1 here, a is 1 and c is 6. So multiplication should be 6 into 1. That is 6. Multiplication should be 6 and it should be minus 5. So that is simple. 6 ones are 6. 6 ones are 6. And since it is minus 5, so 6 should be with minus 1 because minus 6 plus 1 is minus 5. Okay. So that is how you can
Yes.
factorize. Clear?
Yes,
So that
ma'am.
is the simple trick you need to use. That you need to find two digits whose multiplication is this. And if you add them, you will have the middle term. Okay. Now, sometimes it is like a cubical equation. So for cubical equation, we cannot apply this. So you have to use randomly. factors of 120. Okay, so here it is 1 and here it is 120. So you need to look for the factors of 120. So you can randomly take some factors and by hit and trial you can find out. Okay, because what I told you, it is applicable only for the quadratic equation. Now, for this exercise, what you need to check? You need to check if x plus 1 is a factor. So x plus 1 equals to 0. So simply put x is equal to minus 1. So after putting x equals to minus 1, if you are getting the equation as 0, then it is a factor. Otherwise, it is not. Clear? Here also.
Yes.
If x plus 1 is a factor, that means x is equal to minus 1. Put x equals to minus 1. If you are getting 0, then it is a factor. So that is how we check. If it is a factor, it will be a 0 of the polynomial. And if it is a 0 of the polynomial, that means it is a factor. Okay, so the two things are interrelated like this. Okay, now value of k. So put x equal to 1 and calculate the value of k. Now factorize. Here you will use that technique. Okay, can you tell me for any one of these, like for first? Okay, let us do this one. 12x squared minus 7x plus 1. So if I multiply this and this, so the multiplication should be 12 into 1 is 12. And
Yes.
this term should be minus 7. So which two quantities we can take?
We can take 6 to the 12.
But 6 plus 2 will not make 7.
Yes, we can take minus 6 and plus. Wait. Minus 6 and plus 1.
But 6 and 1 will not make 12.
Oh, yeah.
We need it to be 12.
4 3s are 12.
Yes, you are right. So we can take minus 4 and minus 3. Minus 4 plus minus 3 is minus 7. And minus 4 into minus 3 is 12. Okay. So we will write this minus 7 as minus 4x minus 3x. So this is the way we can do. Clear? Yes, ma'am. Okay. So that is how we can do. Now there are certain identities. Identities we have just done. That is the square root. The square. Okay. These are the three or four formulas. Okay. So that is how you can expand. Like a plus b whole square is a square plus b square plus 2ab. X plus y whole square is x square plus y square plus 2xy. So simply you can apply the formula. Like if it is 105 and 106, right? So you need not multiply it. You have to simply use the identity. 105, we can write it as 100 plus 5. Yes. And it is 100 plus 6. Okay. So we can use the fourth identity and you can solve this. Clear? No. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Now it is like factorize. Again, you need to factorize. So how will you factorize? You will use the same method. 25 into 49 and the sum should be equal to 70. So wherever you are having the quadratic equation, you can use the same thing. Now for this, say for example, this is like this. So here in this equation, there is not like whole square. As you can see, 25 over 4x square minus y square over 9. So I will just find out that to which identity it is alike. I am finding it alike to x square. Sorry, I am finding it alike to Are you there, Suha? Hello?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm finding it alike to x square minus y square. Okay. So what it was x plus y into x minus y. So this identity I can use. So I have to make it a square.
Yes.
So this is 5 by 2x whole square. Yes. So this is a square or x square minus this will be y over 3 whole square. Okay. So this is x square minus y square. So this is x plus y and x minus y. So direct away I will have the answer from the identity. Yes. Okay. So that is how you can solve. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So always try to use the identity and you will be able to solve. Now, okay. So there is one more identity where we have three variables. Okay. Till now we are having only x and y. So now we also have z. So this is you need to remember. X plus y plus z whole square is x square plus y square plus 2xy, 2yz and 2x. Okay. So square all these terms and then multiply in the pair. right? Clear?
Yes.
So this way you can solve this. Wherever you are having 3 terms, you can solve them like this using this identity. So it is more or less the same formula. Here we will have some additional terms. There we were having only 2xy. Now what is added is 2yz and 2zx. So multiply x with y with z, and z with x. Okay. So it is almost the same identity. So these are like direct formula based questions. You will be given with 3 variables. Now use the identity and solve them. Now it is cube, like x plus y square we have done. Now it is x plus y cube. So the simple formula is x cube plus y cube plus 3xy and get x plus y. If it is minus, then it is throughout minus. So these two identities also we need to remember for the cube. And you will be given question like this. So you can say this is like x plus y cube. So what is x plus y cube? This is x cube plus y cube plus 3xy, x plus y. So x cube plus y cube plus 3xy, x plus y. Clear? And just solve them.
Yes.
Okay. Now if you have 104 cube, if you are given with this question. So this is 100 plus 4 whole cube. So this will be x cube plus y cube plus 3xy, x plus y. Use this identity. Clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Now
ma'am.
again, it is a factorization. Okay, this same identity. Okay, this is one more identity. So in all, you need to remember these 8 identities. This you have to learn. Okay,